Liverpool fans were still celebrating a hard-fought 2-1 win away at Tottenham when the mood suddenly changed. What looked like a big goal and a big moment for Alexander Isak quickly turned into a nightmare that could shape Liverpool's entire season. One sliding challenge, one planted foot, and now one of the club's most expensive signings is facing months on the sidelines. Liverpool manager Arne Slot has confirmed that Alexander Isak is set to be out for a couple of months after suffering a serious leg injury during the win in London. The Swedish striker fractured his left leg when Tottenham defender Mickey van de Ven slid in as Isak fired the ball into the net. Isak scored, but paid a heavy price for it. Liverpool later confirmed that Isak underwent surgery for an ankle injury that included a fibula fracture. For Slot, the disappointment is clear. He described the challenge as reckless and admitted that losing Isak for this long is a huge blow, not only for the player but for the entire team. Slot did not hide his frustration. While Tottenham midfielder Xavi Simons had already been sent off earlier in the match for a late tackle on Virgil van Dijk, Van de Ven escaped any punishment for the challenge that injured Isak. Slot made it clear he felt there was a big difference between the two incidents. According to him, Simons' tackle was unintentional and unlikely to cause serious harm, but Van de Ven's was far more dangerous. Slot explained that if a defender makes that kind of tackle repeatedly, the risk of serious injury is always high. In his eyes, it was not bad luck alone, but a challenge that crossed the line. Tottenham boss Thomas Frank, however, strongly disagreed. He defended Van de Ven and described him as a fair and competitive defender who was simply doing his job. Frank argued that any defender would try to block a shot in that situation and suggested that Isak planting his foot made the injury look worse than it actually was. He also pointed out that the two players spoke after the incident and settled the matter between themselves. The debate did not stop there. Former Liverpool defender Jamie Carragher added another layer to the discussion. While calling Isak's injury a massive blow for Liverpool, Carragher admitted that it was a challenge he himself would probably have made during his playing days. In his view, Van de Ven was not trying to hurt anyone. He was simply trying to stop a goal, and the unfortunate injury came from the follow-through. Carragher described it as terrible luck for Isak and noted that this match was one of the first times Liverpool fans had truly seen the striker's quality in a red shirt. From a technical point of view, many analysts agree that the incident sits in a gray area. Van de Ven slid in to block the shot, not to tackle Isak directly. The injury occurred because Isak's shooting foot landed between the defender's legs at the exact wrong moment. It was a natural collision during a normal defensive action, not a clear case of serious foul play. While injuries can influence emotions and opinions, they do not automatically mean a foul was committed. That does not mean blocking tackles can never be punished. Football history is full of examples where similar actions led to red cards, including Luke Shaw's horrific leg break in 2015. But in this case, officials judged it as accidental, and VAR did not intervene. For Liverpool, the timing could hardly be worse. They now face Wolves at Anfield without Isak, and their attacking options are already stretched. Mohamed Salah is away with Egypt at the Africa Cup of Nations, leaving a huge gap in goals and experience. Cody Gakpo is still recovering from a muscle injury, although there is hope he could return soon. Jeremy Frimpong has just come back from a hamstring problem and showed his versatility by playing on the right wing against Spurs. Slot has confirmed Frimpong is now fit enough to start if needed. However, Slot has ruled out recalling Harvey Elliott from his loan spell at Aston Villa, making it clear that the midfielder is expected to complete the season there. For Isak himself, this injury is another setback in what has been a very difficult year. Since completing his record-breaking £125 million move from Newcastle United, things have not gone smoothly. Injuries, lack of rhythm, and missed preseason time all slowed his progress. He managed only 3 goals in 16 appearances and struggled to find consistency. Slot admitted that Isak's situation has been challenging from the start. After months without proper training before joining Liverpool, adapting to the Premier League was always going to take time. Just as he was beginning to look sharper, scoring against West Ham and again against Tottenham, his season has been interrupted once more. Despite this, Slot remains confident that Isak can still play an important role later in the season. He believes the striker was finally getting closer to his best level and insists that this injury does not change the long-term plan. Now, Liverpool must find a way to cope without him. The squad will be tested, the manager will be tested, and the supporters will need patience. As for Isak, the road to recovery begins again, quietly, painfully, and away from the spotlight. Football can be cruel. One moment you are celebrating a goal in front of thousands. The next you are facing surgery and months of rehab. Whether you see the challenge as reckless or unlucky, one thing is clear. Liverpool have lost a key player at a crucial time, and how they respond to this setback could define their season. For now, all eyes turn to Anfield, to Wolves, and to a Liverpool side forced to fight on without one of their biggest stars, hoping that when Isak returns, he returns stronger, sharper, and ready to finish the story that was only just beginning. The January transfer window is fast approaching, and if the latest reports are anything to go by, we are about to witness one of the most explosive transfer battles in recent Premier League history. At the center of this storm is Bournemouth's standout star, Antoine Semenyo. The 25-year-old Ghana international has become the name on everyone's lips, and while heavyweights like Manchester United and Manchester City are currently leading the charge, a dramatic twist suggests that Liverpool might already have the inside track on a deal that could redefine their attack. The race for a rising star. According to GimSport senior correspondent Ben Jacobs, the race for Semenyo is a who's who of English football. Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal, Tottenham Hotspur, and Liverpool are all monitoring the attacker. However, the situation in Manchester is heating up fast. Both United and City have emerged as the frontrunners to secure his signature as early as next month. City is looking for fresh energy to bolster their clinical edge, while United is desperate for a player with Semenyo's explosive pace and directness. The urgency of this deal is fueled by a specific early bird release clause. Semenyo reportedly has a £65 million release clause active for the first part of the January window. This means that if a club wants to avoid a long, drawn-out saga that bleeds into the February 2nd deadline, they need to move fast and pay up front. For a player who has been described by his teammate Justin Kluivert as world-class, that price tag is starting to look like a bargain. The Liverpool connection, a secret agreement? While the Manchester clubs might be the most active in terms of inquiries, the heart of the player seems to be set on Merseyside. In a series of shocking updates, reports from The Guardian and Caught Offside suggest that a move to Anfield is Semenyo's personal preference. Even more stunning is the claim that personal terms have already been agreed between Semenyo and Liverpool. Fabrizio Romano has noted that Liverpool has been maintaining phone contact since November. While the initial plan might have been to explore a move for 2026, the sudden availability of the player and the intense interest from rivals may force Liverpool's hand. If the personal terms are indeed signed and sealed, Liverpool holds the ultimate trump card. They aren't just watching the race. They might already be waiting at the finish line. Is Semenyo the Cody Gakpo upgrade? The most controversial part of this potential move is what it means for the current squad, specifically Cody Gakpo. The Dutchman has been a vital servant for the Reds, even helping secure the Premier League title in Arne Slot's debut season. However, football moves fast. This season, Gakpo has struggled to find his rhythm, with some critics labeling his playstyle as one-dimensional compared to the dynamic needs of Slot's system. Enter Antoine Semenyo. The Ghanaian winger has been in blistering form under Bournemouth boss Andoni Iraola, netting 8 goals in just 16 Premier League appearances. To put his impact into perspective, England legend Chris Waddle recently labeled him the best winger in England. When you compare the two, the differences are striking. Versatility. While Gakpo often prefers the left or a central false nine role, Semenyo is a physical powerhouse who glides across the entire front line. Two-footed lethality. One of Semenyo's biggest threats is his ability to strike with either foot, making him a nightmare for defenders to show onto a weak side. Progressive play. He excels at carrying the ball from deep, transforming defense into attack in seconds, a trait Liverpool has lacked during Gakpo's recent dip in form. With the arrival of Florian Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen in the summer, the competition for places on the wing is already at an all-time high. While Wirtz is still finding his feet, his impressive performance against Tottenham shows he is the future. Adding Semenyo to that mix would give Liverpool a level of depth and world-class quality that would strike fear into any defense in Europe. The tactical dilemma: attack versus defense. Despite the excitement surrounding a Semenyo to Liverpool move, the club faces a massive tactical and financial dilemma. Is an attacker really the priority? Liverpool's defensive depth is currently looking paper-thin. With Giovanni Leone and Joe Gomez sidelined, Arne Slot is left with only Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate as recognized senior center-backs. If Liverpool spends £65 million on Semenyo, will there be enough left in the war chest to fix a defense that is one injury away from a crisis? It's a high-stakes gamble. Landing Semenyo would weaken their rivals and upgrade their wings, but leaving the backline exposed could haunt them in the title race. What happens next? As we head toward the new year, the ball is in Liverpool's court. They have the player's preference, they allegedly have the personal terms, and they have a clear path to the release clause. But with Manchester United and City circling like sharks, any hesitation could see the best winger in England heading to Manchester instead of Anfield. One thing is certain: Antoine Semenyo is the prize of the winter. Whether he ends up wearing the red of Liverpool or the blue of City, he is a player destined for the very top of the game.